integrated too. So number 14, people ask me for number 14. I thought it was on complex numbers. It must have been on the dividing complex numbers. So here it is, and I think I know the problem. The problem isn't that you're making any mistakes. It's the very last step when you are simplifying your answer. Here's what most people are doing, and this should be pretty simple, like that, like that. This goes away, get r squared equals negative 22 over 5. And so I'm pretty confident that everybody's doing that much, and then probably taking the square root as well. And that's all good, right? This goes away, and you are doing things correctly. This ends up being r equals the square root of negative 22 over 5, and that's where our problems start right there. Let me show you how to get the answer that they have, okay? So I've rewritten it so I have some room. Let me remind you that the entire fraction is underneath a square root, and that means that you can separate it. So you might separate it like this, negative 22 over the square root of 5. That's only semi-helpful because you got a square root in the bottom, and you remember you can't do that. You have to rationalize it. But I can at least take this negative out, so I'm going to do that. I'll get plus or minus I square root of 22 over the square root of 5. But this is where things get a little bit complicated. You have to go back in time a little bit to when we were rationalizing denominators, because you can't have that 5 right there. Let me rewrite it here. Plus or minus, oh shoot, I radical 22 over the square root of 5. Do you remember what to do to get rid of that square root of 5? I'll bet you do. You multiply by the square root of 5, top and bottom. Remember, this is like multiplying by 1. It doesn't change anything. And this probably starts looking familiar. Now I have plus or minus I times the square root of 110 over 5. This is the answer that they have in the on the worksheet. You would have to determine, can I do anything with the square root of 110? Can that be broken down further? And since it's 5 and 22, the answer is no. There's nothing else you can do. So that is as far as you can get, and that's the answer. I would imagine if you are struggling to find the answer in the answer key, it's probably because of this whole thing right here. You're probably forgetting to rationalize the denominator. Try that, and I'll bet you get the right answers. I appreciate your efforts. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.